Hello friends and welcome to another video lesson from DBOS Talks. If you haven't subscribed yet, please click subscribe and click the bell so that you can be notified of new uploads. In this video, we'll be learning how to highlight objects in Excel. Okay, so I'll be launching Microsoft Excel now, and I have a sample spreadsheet in front of you. So we'll be discussing a couple of things about highlighting things. First one is highlighting a single cell. If you wanted to highlight a single cell in Excel, it's very simple. You click on the cell that you wanted to highlight, let's say this one, and then in the fill color, you drop it down. The fill color is a drop down arrow there. You click on that and then choose the color that you wanted to use to highlight the cell. Okay, let's say this shade of green. Okay, that's highlighted. Okay, so I will undo that. Second is to highlight multiple adjacent cells. Okay, so multiple adjacent cells. So to highlight multiple adjacent cells, you can hover or roll over your mouse over the range of cells. Let's just say I wanted to highlight these numbers. So I can click here and then just roll my mouse over those areas, and then click on the fill color. Okay, or it can be a range of, okay, so that is a good example already. Okay, I will undo this and then I will go to the third example. The third example is multiple non-adjacent cells. Okay, multiple non-adjacent cells. Let's just say adjacent or not, meaning not beside each other. So let's say I wanted to highlight this. So I can start by clicking on the first cell, or I can start by pressing now the control key, CTRL key, control key. I'll press the control key and then I'll click here and then maybe I'll click here. So again, multiple non-adjacent cells. Okay. Remember that they will be highlighted with the same fill color that you will choose. Okay. Okay, multiple non-adjacent cells. So I will undo that. The next is multiple adjacent rows. Okay, multiple adjacent. So if you want to highlight a complete row, you should click on the row number. If let's say you're targeting row number 5, you click on the number 5. That highlights temporarily the whole row. Now, what is that? We're gonna be highlighting multiple adjacent rows. So you can click on the first row that you wanted to highlight, and then you can hover your mouse, roll your mouse over the other rows that you want. Okay, again, multiple adjacent rows. Right? You click on the first row and then you just roll your mouse to the other adjacent rows, and then you can choose your fill color, whatever it is. Okay, now let's undo that. Next is multiple non-adjacent rows. Okay, let me just get this out of the way. Multiple non-adjacent rows. Okay, so this row, I'll click again on the row number. So again, multiple non-adjacent rows, not beside each other. So I will click on the control key and mouse click on the other row number. And then while the control key is down, I will keep on selecting multiple rows by clicking on the row number. And then once I'm done, I can again go to the fill color and choose the color that I wanted to use to highlight them. Okay, multiple non-adjacent rows. I'll undo that. Okay, come back here. Multiple adjacent columns. Multiple adjacent columns. So columns are identified by their column letter. Okay, so multiple adjacent columns that are beside each other. So I can just start with the first column I have in mind, could be B. Click on the column letter, and then I can hover my mouse, roll my mouse over the other columns that I'm interested in highlighting. I click on the first column, and then you just roll your mouse across. Or the other way is, once you're here, you click the first column, you press on the shift key and then your right arrow key. It's also okay. Okay, so there's a couple of ways to do that, but I can start with just rolling my mouse over the range of columns. Once I'm done, I will again go to the fill color button, or yeah, see the button, and then I will choose the color I wanted. Okay, undo. Next is multiple non-adjacent columns. The same trick we've done in the previous example, multiple non-adjacent columns. So maybe I'll start with A. I click on the column letter, and then non-adjacent, not beside each other. So I can, it could even be a combination of adjacent and non-adjacent, doesn't matter. You can always use the control key. So I can start with the control key being pressed down. Then I can also start choosing whatever columns I have in mind that I want to highlight. They can be adjacent or not. What matters is that I started, or in all of this, I kept my control key pressed. And then now I can go to the fill color and then choose the color that I want. Maybe this. Okay. Undo that. Finally, we've covered most of the examples already. So the last thing I have is how to highlight a sheet name, not a sheet, but a sheet name. Okay. Seldom used, but it's very important. In once you have, if you only have 2, 3 sheets, it doesn't matter, it's okay. But once you have 5 sheets, 7 upwards, then highlighting them with certain colors could help, just to maybe give you a visual indicator of what sheet is it that is so hot. It's a hot topic. It is something you need to take note of, that very important sheet. So what you do is you right click on the sheet that you wanted to highlight, right click on the sheet name, not the sheet name. In this case, the sheet I'm interested in highlighting is the one called lessons. So I will right click on the sheet name. Okay, and then I'll go to, okay, you don't see it there. I will decrease the size of the, give me a second. Okay, now you see it better. Right click on the sheet I'm interested in, and then in the context menu, you click on tab color, and then again, this shows you the familiar palette of colors, and then you can just choose the color, the fill color that you have in mind or you prefer. Okay. So you'll notice that the color is not so dark, it's a bit light, but nevertheless, it gives you that unmistakable shade of color on the sheet name itself. So if you have a couple of sheets and you want some of these sheets to stand out and catch your attention or anybody's attention for certain reasons, then you could use this technique. So that's it. We've covered a couple of things on how to highlight stuff in Excel. Okay, I hope it helped. It helps. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please click subscribe and click the bell so that you can be notified of new uploads. I'm going to be seeing you in the next video.